Hi, I'm Cynthia from the Real Housewives of Atlanta and also the CEO of the Bailey Agency School of Fashion. And you are tuned in to Black Girls Radio TV.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Stacii Jae Johnson with Black Girls Radio, and you're looking at Black Girls Radio TV. And I have with me Cynthia Bailey. How are you, Mama?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for doing the show today. That was amazing.
Oh, I support you in everything that you do. I think you doing this show, you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. Today, guys, I had the pleasure of having Cynthia in this station with me, and we talked about family matters. But now we're going to talk about a book that Cynthia and Peter are launching this project, and it's about relationships. Tell us about that.
Peter and I decided to do a book about our relationship because I think, from getting married on the show on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, people kind of watching our journey from the TV world, our relationship is very misunderstood.
Yes.
But more than anything, I think there's something very powerful about getting with someone later in life as opposed to earlier. Peter and I were well into our 40s when we got together, and I think when you're in your 20s and 30s when you get married, you're very open, you're very flexible. You don't really have a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
You don't really have a lot of kids usually, so it's kind of easy. You pick your first house together, your first starter home.
Yeah, and then it's all goo-goo-eyed. Oh, I love him, he loves me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my husband doesn't like my hair that way. And you're actually open to saying, oh, honey, you don't like it this way? Well, let me do it this way. Child, when you turn after 40s, you're like, listen, I got a kid already. This is what I'm coming to the table with. I like my hair short, so you just go either you like it short or
you don't.
Or you don't. But I'm not getting ready to put a weave because you want it. I'll get a weave because I want it. You're just not as open and you're just not as flexible because you're very set in your ways.
Yes.
Peter's 52 years old. He is what it is. I know exactly what I'm signing up for.
Yes.
He knows what he's signing up for, and I think it's very interesting to come together when people aren't as flexible.
Well,
and that's us.
So then is the book about, is it about you guys? I'm a single woman, okay? And I am definitely not in my 20s, Look at that. You see that? Bingo. And and what I know really about relationships, honestly, is I don't know a lot. Because, and when I say I don't know, I've had relationships, but I haven't, honestly, I don't bend. Because with me, I feel I don't want to teach a man how to be a man.
Right. Well, I think, I don't think many of us want to compromise who we are just because we have a partner now.
Yes.
I don't want to, I'm Cynthia Bailey, I'm that same chick that you signed up for. When you saw me looking good, being all, fabulous and fly at the party. Yeah. Please don't come in here and be like, okay, I think that dress is a little short. No, it wasn't that short when you met. It wasn't too short when you met.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't want to change who I am because I'm with you. And I don't want you to change who you are because you're with me. And I don't think you should have to. Either we work together, we are compatible, or we're not.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. And, I fell in love with Peter being Peter. So I know what I'm walking into. And so that's what it's about, just how we kind of met. And, a lot of people.
So are there any life lessons for single women? I'm saying, is it something that I'm going to be able to, is it a love story of you and Peter, or is it something that a woman who's not in her 20s may be able to look at and say, okay, and really get some really life lessons in relationships to see? Because honestly, I absolutely, when I walk in Bar One and I see your picture up, I go, wow, I want that. Because he lets you know at the door whose this is. I always, you see what I'm saying? I always go, you always want your man to represent you when you're not with him.
Right.
Well, when you see that beautiful brown, if y'all ever come here and come to Atlanta, please go to Bar One. Absolute, stunning, dark-skinned chocolate woman with an afro greeting you at the door. Very powerful. And it was very, knowing you, I'm sure with Peter, he was very, because Peter's a very smart man, he was very focused on why picking that picture, because that picture represents a whole lot of things.
Well, when he initially, said he wanted a picture of me in Bar One, I was like, absolutely not. Why would I have a picture of me in Bar One? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard of. And he was like, no, I really have this idea. I want this picture. I want it huge. I want it like the size of
gorgeous.
The wall. And I was like, Peter, the only way in hell that I'm gonna let you put a picture of me in Bar One is that it is just so powerful and timeless and hate approved. Like literally any and everybody that walks to that door would have to say, I really love that picture. And I didn't want to really, I didn't want the picture to be about me. It's of me, but I think when you look at it, you see so many different things.
It's the environment, yeah.
You know? So getting back to the book, Life Lessons, I think a life lesson that I could give to you is in terms of relationships, is Stacii, you know, I always looked at my life like I didn't have to get married. I didn't have to have a kid. I didn't really ever put those kind of rules on myself. If it happened for me, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. So I was so focused on doing Cynthia that, you know, when the baby came, the baby came.
Yeah.
When the husband came, the husband came.
Yeah.
I was going to be okay anyway.
Yeah.
And I think if you accept that and receive that, then when the other things start to happen, if they happen, then that's just gravy. But just
I think I've accepted it too much. My girlfriends say because I don't put out any energy. If I see a guy, I mean, she's always like we went out last night. She said, "You see that guy looking at you?" I'm like, "Who?" And then he's staring at me, and I look back at her.
As well, I was like that. I was like that as well. I mean, look at you. You are beautiful. You're smart.
Thank you.
I mean, I definitely think if it's the right person and the right chemistry in the room, I think you guys will gravitate toward each other.
I think so
and it's
too.
just you just haven't met the right guy. And
that's right.
All it is. I believe that.
So when are we going to have the pleasure of getting my first copy?
Well, hopefully soon. We're actually on the last chapter.
Really?
Of the book.
So are you guys writing it together?
Well, we actually have a ghostwriter that's helping us out. We just don't have time. We didn't have time to sit down and write a book.
But you give
I'm a good writer. I would have loved to have written the book myself, but I did not have time to do it because of my schedule.
Yeah.
But Peter and I actually do the book separately. She talks to him, and then she talks to me. So I really have to read to see what he said. And it's very he said, she said. And,
okay.
You know, they talk about how we met. My version of how we met and Peter's version of how we met is completely the same story, but like he sees everything differently from me. So, I mean, I think it's really going to be a really good read because, you know, Peter and I are opposite, you know, and opposites do attract. And, you know, I look at something, I say, that is green. And he'll look at it and say, hey, that's purple. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a very good book for, you know, people to read. And we kept it super, super honest. I mean, you guys are going to be surprised actually with some of my parts when we talk about our intimacy chapter.
Really? You were freaking the bed.
Well, I didn't say all that. I'm just saying that I didn't hold anything back. I really was very forthcoming.
Right.
I feel like, you know, in my life, like we are on the show, I don't know how to fake it. This is who we are. You know, I'm not for everybody. You like me or you don't. I get it. The book is the same way. I put it out there. You receive it or you don't.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
So then, let's talk about, I wasn't going to ask this, but I am.
Okay.
How is it, and this is about relationships, of course, and your relationship with Peter, and how is it being married to such a strong, like Peter sometimes, and you being a strong woman? I mean, I know you, and I know Peter, and I look at you guys together, and there has to be, because remember, women are supposed to be some sort of submissive or to their husbands, to their counterparts. And I look at you guys and it's like, wow, I know she's strong and I know he's strong. How do you work together to make that work from a woman's point of view?
Well, what attracted me to Peter was that he was strong. I just thought that was so sexy.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't meet him at the height of his life where he had all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
I met him when he was rebuilding. But he was so strong and confident that, you know, he was going to turn everything around. Like, I just thought that was really, really sexy. You know, I'm not a submissive person in any way. I don't know how in the world it kind of came off that way a little bit first season because I'm really, really not. And I think, you know, it's just an ongoing joke in our house because if anything, I am the one running, you know, driving the bus. And
I never got submissive. And maybe because I know you off. I mean, so you know, right.
He comes off so strong, just even if I sit and listen to him, it almost feels like, oh, well, she's not really, you know, she's just, you know, like he's kind of really overshadowing everything. I'm not a submissive person. I definitely know my power. I'm attracted to power. That's exactly what attracted me to Peter. Did we bump heads? Yes, because, you know, only one person can drive the bus now. It's not two steering wheels.
Yeah.
So somebody got to sit and ride, somebody got to ride shotgun, somebody got to drive. And
so you guys strategically, I mean, maybe pick those times.
It depends on the day. It's very, you know, some days I don't feel like driving the bus.
I know, that's my girl.
I let him drive. You know,
that must be nice, baby. Like drive the bus.
Sometimes you don't mind giving up the power,
right?
And I think the great thing about our relationship is we both can drive the damn bus. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
It's like, look, baby.
And you trust each other. And you trust each other to drive it.
When I drive it, I drive it, and I think that is why it works for us.
Yes.
Because we're not afraid to let each other drive when they're supposed to be driving.
Excellent. I think that is key. Because he allows you to drive the bus.
Absolutely.
And you respect him enough, so the respect is equal. Because really, so then really, you're what my mom would always say. You're both helpmeets for each other. It's not like there's a submit. It's you help each other. You're married. You're in love.
Everything
But
is pretty much 50-50.
Excellent, excellent.
I work, he works.
Yeah,
A lot of our grinds are together as a couple. I've been actually pushing him. He has his coffee thing going on.
I know,
now.
yeah.
I said, Peter, I love that we do a lot together, but I really want you to have your separate things going on as well, because there's other things that I want to do that don't really involve you, boo. This is what it is. We don't do everything together.
Right.
But I really love his whole, I really want him to realize his own individual success, and I want to, realize mine, and then let's, realize our couple success.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much, Cynthia.
Well, thank you for having
I appreciate you sitting down with me on Black Girls Radio TV today. Keep it locked in, guys. We have a lot of other interviews to do today. I appreciate you all watching. Thank you, Cynthia. Hopefully you'll come back.
Oh, of course I will. And please, for all things Cynthia, please follow me on Twitter, Cynthia Bailey 10.
That's right.